sir.
3 years, dude.
I know, that's crazy. Time has flown by.
It doesn't feel like 3 years.
No, not at all.
But
feels like 6 months ago.
Does it really feel like that short?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it feels like that to me, but it definitely.
I also didn't change careers.
Yeah. Well, we're doing this today just because I kind of want to obviously get back into the swing of things. Like, I've gotten a lot of compliments and comments even over the last couple of years, like, oh, are you going to continue your podcast or whatever? We really liked it, blah, blah, blah. You get a lot of feedback where it's like, oh, I think it's a great thing. You should continue to do it, and blah, blah, blah. And it's been hard, one, for time,
right?
Is one thing. And anyway, but I've always wanted to get back to it or start doing it again,
right? Regardless
of what I was doing. But we're back now.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I got more time on my hands now.
Well, hopefully not for long. But I think it's also been fun to listen to the evolutions of where you wanted to take this podcast versus the first go around, right? And just, do you get into firearms? Do you get into all of these other things? Like, just having this as a platform to be able to also express your things that you like and enjoy, and not just have it be solely real estate or business development, things like that. Being able to open the bandwidth and explore a lot more topics, I think will bring you more joy, but it'll also bring better content and, bringing people in. So, I think evolving based on the last time doing it is going to be huge. It's going to be fun. Yeah. I like the ideas and where it's going. Yeah,
it's good. And we'll get into that a little bit today, but I just wanted to sit down with you personally, just because, like, you're my guy. You've been my guy for a long time.
In a very hetero way, by the way.
Yeah, no homo.
Yeah.
No, I think of you as a brother, but you're also like a mentor. Like, like, you provide a lot of advice for me, both business and personal stuff. And I mean, obviously, we're workout partners. Like, can't you tell? But
not for me.
No, you're surprisingly strong. When you you may not. Maybe you
may not look it. Yeah, right,
I think you look strong. I think you look like a horse, but like a pony.
Fair enough. that was a joke about my height, folks, in case you couldn't tell.
That's messed up.
You made fun of me. Yes, it is messed up. I agree.
Anyway, but what I'm saying is that I wanted to sit down with you and just kind of talk about, like, obviously you've been on this journey with me. Like, we've not stopped talking or hanging out or anything like that. Like, you and I have been, connected at the hip for for a long time. And so I just wanted to sit down and, like, kind of talk about, for those who don't know where I've been or what I've been doing. I didn't announce it publicly, and I didn't make like this big splash thing like, oh, I'm leaving. Right. I'm not doing real estate anymore. It was kind of like a quiet exit, and I wanted it to be that way. Right. And so I kind of just wanted to go back in this podcast today and just talk about, like, kind of where I went, why I went, where I was, where I'm at now, and kind of where I plan on going with the podcast, and just with me in general and my family life, and just kind of touch on all those things today.
For sure.
And maybe it'll kind of just answer some of those questions. But it might be a good just recap for
those that don't know.
So
right. So you had mentioned something about kind of doing a quiet exit as you were going into the law enforcement. Like, what was one of the reasons that you decided to go that route instead of, burn the ships and walk away and go that route? Because you really have two choices, right? So, like, eventually people that are looking into retirement, I think it's the same thing, right? If people are planning on retirement, do you burn the ships? Do you slowly exit? Right. Yeah. But I think it's a good analogy between both on why you did it.
Sure. I think that it's multifaceted. One of the things from my business standpoint, like, my plan was to try and keep my team going as much as possible. Because at the time, Shannon and Robin were still, on the team, still very actively involved. And I didn't, Shannon was still relatively new to the team. And so I had made a commitment to her prior to me making this commitment to law enforcement, which we'll talk about. And so I just felt like it was kind of like, I felt obligated, and I wanted to continue that. And I wanted to honor that as much as I could while still trying to pursue this dream.
Right.
And then I was also still planning on running my business as much as I could.
Right.
And so I didn't want people to think that I was just like, I'm out and there's nobody else to help you. Like Robin and Cheyenne are still doing their thing. And so I didn't want to take any business away from them. Mm-hmm. And so that was more or less, that was like on that side of it, why I didn't burn the ships.
Right.
And then on the other side, like, if you haven't guessed by now, like I got into law enforcement.
Right.
And there's mixed feelings about that in today's world. In our community in general, I think most everyone is very pro law enforcement. And I would say the majority of people in the country are pro law enforcement. I would say the large majority of them, the vast large majority of them, but there are some naysayers out there.
Right.
But
if we rewind the hands of time 3 years ago, right, it was a different environment than where we're at now. So.
Yeah, and I mean, but still in our community with the people that I deal with, like more often than not, like I wasn't necessarily worried about them having negative feelings towards me, but I also just wasn't interested, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, but I just wasn't interested in their feedback.
Right. Yeah.
You know, like I knew what the risks that I was taking. I knew the sacrifices I was making towards my family and my business and just my own health.
Right.
And so, or at least I thought I did.
Right. Yeah. Not to the full extent.
Yeah. Not. Yes. I mean, I don't think you know until you do it.
Right.
But I was weighing those risks, and I just really wasn't interested in people's feedback. The people that I talk to and confide in and seek advice from. I talked to those people.
Right.
Like you and I talked for a long time about it.
Right.
You know, and Lawton and my dad and Shannon and, you know, and her parents and the people that, you know, there's other people that I was very close to that I was talking to this about a lot. But maybe I just wasn't interested in having those conversations. So that's on that side. That's more like my personal thing.
Right.
But on the business side, I just didn't burn the ships because I still had Robin and Cheyenne to look after.
And your phone was still ringing for real estate.
And my phone was still ringing. I mean, I closed one of my biggest deals 2 weeks after I got hired on at the sheriff's office. And so my phone was still ringing. I was still doing the things. And so I didn't want to just like throw that away because I'd worked for 8-9 years on trying to build my business and build, you know, and I just didn't feel comfortable just throwing it away, especially when I have two other people that are relying, you know,
totally makes sense
on me, which in hindsight, like I look back and they didn't need me as much as they think they did, or I think they did maybe. So
fully both capable individuals to maintain their own business and do all that stuff. But I think the sentiment was there.
Yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
So you had said, you know, law enforcement several times. So why did you want to make the switch?
I'll try to like make it a short story as much as I could, but more or less, I had been told over the years several times, even since I was in college.
You look like a cop.
I look like a cop. Yeah, and I do. I ain't gonna lie. I even had one of the instructors at the academy was just like, you're like if you were a dog, you'd be a German Shepherd,
right? Yeah.
Like because you are the prototypical tall, athletic,
right? Yeah,
you know, like. Big voice.
Cop.
Yeah. Kind of stern, you know, a scowl on his brow. I can be a bit of a jerk sometimes too, I will admit it. So it's just, and I look like one. So, and I'd gotten that a lot, and I'd always kind of just like, shrugged it off, whatever. Right. When I moved up here, I moved down the street from a good friend of mine who works at the sheriff's office. And he talked me into going on a ride along with him. And so I did. And I went out with him, and the first thing that we did, like right out of briefing, he was like, "Oh, I got to work on some paperwork." He was the patrol sergeant at the time. He's like, "I got to work on some paperwork," and I'm like, "Okay." And so I'm like in there, probably just like fumbling on my phone or whatever, and you can hear something over the radio because they have it playing in the room, but I don't, you know, I pick up on it. Yeah. And he's like, "Get up, buddy, we gotta go!" And he like jumps up out of his chair and he starts running. And he's like zipping up his vest and like running out of and we hop in his car. And just go ripping out of the station. And we're doing like 100 on 62, like going past like Hobby Lobby and where the old Costco was and just ripping towards Delta Waters and like going towards the railroad tracks. And one of the deputies, right out of briefing, he went down to the railroad tracks to just kick some transients out because they like to hang out by the railroad tracks down there, which is it's trespass 1. It's a serious, like you're not supposed to hang
especially on railroad tracks.
Yeah, you're not supposed to hang out near the railroad tracks. Anyway, so he goes out and down there to like kick out some bums, and ends up getting into a fight. And so, I didn't realize this at the time, but his wife was a dispatcher.
Oh,
and she was the one that could hear over the radio. And so there's like panic on the radio, not only from her, but obviously you can hear the scrum from him, and he's asking for code 3 cover. And so we just go ripping out of there. And fortunately, he got it handled pretty quick. So by the time we got to like the Big X, which is like where like Five Guys and Killer Burger is now, and In-N-Out Burger. So by the time we got to the Big X, it was like over already. And so we like rolled up there and dealt with that for a little while. But then we just like stayed out all day, and like we went out and just like did stuff and like got into a bunch of nasty stuff. You know, there was like a domestic in which this guy beat up his girlfriend, and he like left before we got there. And then like my buddy found him like walking away, and so we like got out and like, I mean, I didn't get out, I stood the car at the time, but he like jumped out and like told him to stop and like threw him in handcuffs and arrested this dude, and we like took him to jail and all that stuff. So it was like we did that, and then like later on in the day we were down at some one of the county parks checking on some fire that somebody reported that like some transient was having down by the river. And like as we were getting down there, we get a call for like a hostage situation over in Gold Hill. This dude was like holding his girlfriend and her family hostage inside of inside of their parents' trailer with a gun.
Wow.
And so of course we go ripping out of there. Like we got to get over there hot quick. And so we like rip out of there, and it's like over in Central Point area. And so we like get on I-5 right there at Blackwell and are just ripping north on I-5 doing like 120, like weaving in and out of traffic. And like some people be like crapping their pants. I'm in the passenger seat like, this is the coolest shit ever. You know, like I was like, this is so cool. And my buddy's like calling for, you know, extra units. And so OSP's getting there, and we roll up into this trailer park, and everybody's got ARs out, and they all climb out of the car, and they just like converge on this trailer as I'm like sitting back in the car, like way off in the distance. And I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. I was like, this is like rad. Yeah. And so I told her I wasn't going to make this a long story, but essentially like we got done.
Got the bug.
Yeah. We got done with that shift, and I'm like, I love this. Like, this is like, how do you leave this? This is not, you know?
Right.
And so I got the bug at that point.
Yeah.
And then from then on, I mean, at that point I was like already like several years into my real estate career and successful, like, you know, making a name for myself, you know, making really good money. And so I was just like, oh, I can't, you know, like it's not, you know, whatever. And I didn't, and I put it off and I put it off and put it off. But every time a cop car rolls by, every time I see one of the fellas running around, you know, it's itching me. Yeah. You know, my YouTube channel was filled with body cam videos. Like I'm just watching that stuff all the time. Like I was obsessed. Yeah. Like no two ways about it. Yeah. And then at the same time, I get some short troll looking ass dude. Yeah. And another buddy take me up at the mountain.
That's me.
That's it. Yeah.
I was going to say, where do the guns come into play?
Yeah. You know, and so meanwhile, you know, I get, you know, you and Chris take me up at the mountains. Right. And we go shooting, and I'm like, oh, this is rad too. Like, this is super cool. Like,
which is the second part of the job.
Yeah. Which is like guns. Carrying a firearm. Carrying a firearm. Yeah. And so I got like really big into the guns and like shooting, and then like made some friends with the Nevesti crew and like took a bunch of classes, and you're hanging around with a lot of these individuals, law enforcement go to these classes too, and you're hanging around with a lot of these dudes, and you're making these relationships, and you're like, this is the environment that I feel like I need to be in. And so it was a culmination of like all of those things. Right. And then in the meantime, I'm running my real estate business, which at the time, like I'm completely overcommitted. Right. Like I there was like 5 or 6 different boards and committees and stuff that I was involved in. Yeah. And so there was like all of that stuff, which it did add some to my business. Some of those things did, but not really. I feel like it took more time than it added to my business. I mean, there's still like relationships and things like that I built that were like still super important. So there wasn't like, I'm not saying that there wasn't negative. Any bit. Yeah. I'm not saying that it's negative by any means. Wow. But, you know, like I'm also involved with this national organization as a regional director, and so I'm like traveling 4 times a year, and so I'm like, you know, I got all these other different responsibilities that are keeping me from my family. And anytime that we go on vacation, I'm constantly on my phone, or I'm constantly feeling like I'm working, says the guy whose phone never stops buzzing. It
is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah. But anyway, I had this feeling that like I feel like I was working.
Couldn't disconnect.
I couldn't disconnect. Yeah. And it's probably a personality issue for me, which is like, it's not necessarily the job. It's just me.
Yeah, but when you want to when you command a high level of service and you want to be there for individuals and all of that, I think it's a conscious choice, but then it becomes habitual, right? And so you just got stuck in the habit of being that golden retriever. Every time somebody called, you had to answer.
Right. And so that just became overwhelming. And I think I started to convince myself that, like, hey, this law enforcement thing, like, hey, they work 4 12s or 3 12s.
Plenty of time off.
3 or 4 days off. Like, what am I going to do with all that time?
Right.
You know, and that time, like, I don't have to answer my phone. I don't have to do any of this stuff. Like, I can be with my family.
Right.
And so it was kind of just one of those things that I pretty much convinced myself that, like, I needed to do it. And then in the same token, like, I was thinking about it so much and I was so obsessed, and I was getting to the point where I was going to be 37 years old. And I was just like, man, like,
if I'm going to do it, it has to be now.
It has to be now. Like,
correct. Yeah.
Because, you know, once I get past 40, I mean, it's like, what are we talking about here?
Why are we even on this earth?
Yeah.
I mean, after 40.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's old bastards, dude. No, but it's just, it's a physical job, you know, correct, it's a physical job. And so I felt like I had to go and do it.
Right.
So
yeah,
I did.
Yep.
So, good.
And like through that time frame, I mean, I think you did going into law enforcement a little bit different, where you were actually able to be with, you know, the sheriff's department before you even went into, you know, your education classes and all of that stuff, right?
Yeah.
How long were you able to be?
You mean like before I went to the academy?
Before you went to the academy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I got hired in August of 23.
Right.
And my academy date was mid-November.
Yeah.
So the first month or so is spent like more or less an orientation. Like, you go and do all the things. So they, like, my first day was just more or less just signing paperwork and doing all that kind of stuff, getting my uniform and like getting all that kind of stuff together. And then like day 2 you spend with CID, which is the detective division. And so I went and did that. And then you spend a day at the jail, and then you go to dispatch, and then you go, you know, spend some time with evidence, and then you spend some time, you know, with search and rescue, and, you know, like those sorts of things. Like, that's,
and I think you're on a boat.
Yeah. Right. My technical, my third technical day was spent with search and rescue, and it was August. And so our search and rescue, it's not technically search and it's Marine and search and rescue are the same like division. And so I pretty much just, like, I went out with Sergeant Richards at the time, and like we got in a boat and went out on the Rogue River, and he's like, I'm just going to give you a tour. And so we went out in the jet boat, the sheriff jet boat, and just ripped up and down the river for a few hours.
I'd be sold. I'd never leave at that point.
I was like,
wait, I got to spend the day on a boat in August?
I was like, man, this is a lot better than I thought. Like, this is rad. Yeah. And like, we just like pretty much like pulled out at like 11:30, and he's like, we're going to go get some lunch, and then you're going to go ride with Prince, and I don't know where he's going yet, but we'll figure it out. And so we like went back and like went to Immigrant Lake and spent the day on Immigrant Lake, just like rolling around and talking to boaters and doing boat safety checks. And I was like, this is a cush job over here.
Yeah.
Just hang out in the sun and drive the boat all day.
For sure.
Yeah. Those guys have to do some nasty stuff though.
Right.
But anyway, but it's, you know, it's more of a lesson of orientation.
Right.
And then you go through like a week of defensive tactics where you learn, you know, more or less like a very like quick version, rudimentary version of like mixed martial arts times, you know, like how to handcuff and like how to do these like certain holds, and like, you know, the Senkyo is like a fun one where you like twist your wrist, and it's just, a lot of people make fun of it, but you do this like defensive tactics stuff, and then that's when you get pepper sprayed and you get tased. Awesome. But yeah, then you do all that kind of stuff, and then you have a week of like LTMs, which is lethal threat management. So you do some firearm stuff, and you like, so there's a process.
Right.
And then after that first month, I got put on like phase 1, shadow phase.
Yeah.
Which is pretty much you just ride shotgun in a police car and do ride-alongs for a month, and you start picking up little things here and there, maybe radio traffic, and you know, you start talking on the radio and just start. Yeah. But then I went to the academy in November, so it's like 2.5 months.
Yeah, before you went into that.
Yeah, which is a bit of an advantage. Just not everybody gets to do that. Like a lot of times they'll like hire you on, and then you go to the academy, and then when you come back, then you'll start your FTEP, your field training.
Yeah.
So
that's you starting off a little bit differently. I think even made you going to the academy, you know, especially with that beginning portion, probably enjoy going to the academy, right? Because you had that knowledge and all of the things that came from it, or was it just?
I don't know. I feel like it probably gave me a little bit of an advantage.
Mm-hmm.
I think what gave me more of an advantage is that the Jackson County Sheriff's Office is like highly regarded in the state as like one of the best agencies in the state.
Right.
So it's, like I feel like all of our FTOs and all the training that I got prior to going up there, I mean, it's pretty great,
right.
Compared to like a lot of these small agencies that have a smaller budget and less people and less opportunities. So,
hoping that the academy does all the heavy lifting, not the actual.
Yeah, I mean, that's technically what the academy should do,
sure. Right.
But I mean, we have a lot of calls for service and get to do a lot of crazy shit out in the county. And so like by the time I even go to the academy, I've already been to hundreds of calls and handled thefts and domestics and, arrested people with warrants and all this kind of stuff. Like I've already done that.
Right.
Like by the time I get done with FTEP at the sheriff's office, like I probably have more experience under my belt than a lot of these like small agencies out in the valley. Right. And so it's just, or a lot of these like newer cops, Yeah. So it's just, I don't know, you get a little bit of an advantage at that. So, but I don't know if it
helped out at all.
I mean, I kind of go up there with an open mind. Like I need, I need to learn and soak in as much as I can up here. So, and I'm not sure if it affected it that much.
Yeah. So you kicked butt at the academy,
yeah.
Did everything you needed to do, got a bunch of awards, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see it in the screen, but they're up there.
Yeah.
And then, so you come back, what was your first shift?
Night shift.
Yep.
Yeah. 6 p.m. to 6 a.m.
So it begins.
Yeah. And so it begins. Yeah. Going back to these awards, because I just so want to talk about them. My academy experience, I think, was far different than what I think most people have at the academy. Like, I was dreading the academy because it's 16 weeks. It's up in Salem.
Yeah, 5 days.
5 days. Like you stay up in the dorm rooms up there. And so I'm away from my family essentially during that time frame. It was me this time. It was me buzzing.
Yeah.
Kiss my ass, Doyle. I know you probably buzzed 12 times. You're just on the floor.
Yep.
And that's the lieutenant, dude. I gotta get it back. I gotta call the lieutenant back.
To him.
Yeah. But so I was dreading the academy. Like the 16-week academy was one of like my big things when I was considering even making the move.
Yeah.
To like as something like I don't want to do. Like I don't want to go up for 16 weeks and be away from my family for that time. Like that sucks.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to do that at all.
Yeah. Side note, Daniel's going to edit a video of him being stuck on the side of the freeway.
Oh, am I going to edit it?
Yeah,
Are you going to throw me under the bus, Doyle?
Yeah. So there's going to be a picture that's maybe somewhere on there.
We got all the academy stories now?
No. I'm just saying.
I'll throw myself under the bus.
Yeah. Just that one stuck on the side of the freeway. But yes, go ahead. 16 weeks.
Yeah. Now we got to talk about it, Doyle.
No, we don't. It'll just be a picture.
It'll just be a picture.
It'll just be a picture.
And people can make their own assumptions.
Their own assumptions, their own thoughts. It happens to be on the news.
Yeah. Shut up, Doyle. Giving it all away. Damn it, dude. All right.
Anyway, so 16 weeks, you were dreading it.
Yeah. Like even the first day, my daughter, who at the time is 5 years old, like bawls her eyes out, won't let me go. And I'm like sitting there crying in my driveway because I'm leaving for a week. And my 5-year-old is like, she's literally like in tears in my arms, like distraught. And I mean, she's an emotional girl. Let's just be honest.
But it still tugs on your heartstrings.
It does. And I was like beyond broken.
Yeah.
But I went up there and I like my experience was different because I made friends with some like really awesome people.
Yeah.
My roommate was the man.
Super clean too.
Yeah.
That was the biggest concern.
You remember? You remember you and I? Like
he's gonna be a booger picker.
Yeah.
He's gonna
his feet are gonna stink. Yeah, it's gonna be like you remember?
Yeah.
Like
we had the conversations.
I got the email for like, and they're like roomed with the person you're like looking for. So I'm like looking on the email and I'm like looking on their Facebook pages trying to trying to sleuth who my roommate is and what he looks like.
Yeah.
Which is really funny because if Bernie's listening to this, he'd probably be like, yeah, you were weird right at first because remember we looked him up online and we were like looking at him and we're like, oh yeah, he could definitely be a booger picker, which if you look at anybody, you could be like, oh, that guy's a booger picker. Yeah. So it's just, we were laughing about that, you and I. And anyway, we get up there and he like walks in the room and I'm like, hey, I'm Daniel, blah, blah, blah. You must be Rob. And he's like, kind of looks at me like, how do you know who I am? And blah, blah, blah.
I stalked you, Rob.
Yeah. Cause I stalked you, buddy. You know, I stalked you, Bernie. I got you.
Right.
Anyway, but like him and I became really good friends. Like I met, there's other, like the core 5 of us that hung out together all the time. Like we were inseparable, but like really like, we had a class of 60, but they really break it up into two groups. So there's like 30 and 30, but like the group of 30 that we had, there was like 15 of us who were just like, we were constantly doing stuff together and just like laughing and how, like, it was just a great experience group of people. Yeah. And so just like the people that I had in my class really made that experience awesome. So my experience, I feel like was a good one. And because of those people, I feel like it was easy for me to have a good attitude and have a good time, which I think led itself to this, these awards. And so I wanted to mention that because those relationships that I have with those people up there at the academy, like those are relationships that I'll take with me forever. Like I just, the time that I had up there was just awesome. Yeah. There's no other word I can use to describe it. It was just,
that's very cool.
Hysterical too, by the way.
I bet.
Yeah. Stomach hurt laughter. So that's good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Which I think it's probably not a super stressful thing across the board, but being an academy has its time of stress. Or if you can't laugh and have fun and like be able to enjoy yourself as you're going through it and it's all stress, like the whole thing would suck.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of people, like they go into that thinking it. Right. And of course, they just create their own reality. And it's like, I mean, they could have a good time if they wanted to, if they made the best of it. Right. But, no, I was fortunate, like if you get some like shit roommate or whatever, who's a booger picker or worse,
I'm in my car. I'm living out in my car.
Yeah. I know some people will go up there and rent Airbnbs the whole time because they don't want to like have a roommate or whatever. Maybe they're the ones that were picking the boogers and doing the things, like doing the gross shit,
By the way, we don't hate booger pickers. We just won't stay in a room with a booger picker.
That's right. Yeah. You're disgusting. Keep your booger hook off of me. So don't touch me with that booger hook, dude. Yeah.
I'm OCD. Sorry. For those that don't know, I'm OCD. So I just have some weird quirks. So,
yeah, you do.
Yeah, for sure.
A little bit of a clean freak, dude. Yeah.
Maybe.
It's all right. Yeah. We don't need to talk about that.
We don't need
you
to
just
talk about
threw
it.
me under the bus.
Yeah, for sure. It's on the news. Okay, so you get back from academy.
Yeah, night shift right away.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember, I've stayed up to daylight in the past, but like when I was in college.
Yeah, I was going to say in your 20s.
Like, but it was very few times. Like I've always been like a morning person. Like I was always one to get up early. Even, you and I used to work out at 5 a.m.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was just like,
you just did.
I've always been an early riser. That's just how it is. And so working 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. was a bit different.
Yeah.
And I remember my first night when I came in and got in at 6:30, liquid death has got me. Should I burp into the mic?
Yeah, no.
Gross. You throw up right here on the table as we were talking about clean freak.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, I go from working. I go to work in 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Right. And I remember like the first day I got to try and take a nap, Shannon. Of course I'm up first thing in the morning. So by the time I get home at 6:30, 7 o'clock. Well, it's at that time, like we didn't even get off until 6. Right. And I'm driving my own car. Correct. Because I don't have my own take-home car yet. Yep. And so, like, I don't get home until 6:45. Right. 7 o'clock. And so it's just like, I get into bed, crawl into bed. I remember the first day I slept until like 2:30, 3 o'clock. Yeah. And I was like, wow, dude, that's crazy. I've never even slept past like 10.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Like
this is a whole new reality.
Yeah, this is wild. Yeah. And it was fine. Like that first month was fine. Like you get used to it and it was fine. And then
month 2.
Yeah.
Then month 3.
Well, month 2, I went back onto a day shift position.
Right.
Like for my 4th phase. And so I was working the day shift thing. And then by the time.
because you were switching different.
You switched to different FTOs.
Yeah.
And then I went on to our team 2, which is our front side nights. This Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. And like at the time, like we're doing, that team is ripping it, dude. Yeah. Like I remember like my 3rd night on the team, like one of our deputies gets into this rad pursuit in White City, chases it around like the White City area. I'm coming from like Blackstone or Blackwell and Kirtland area, like Blackwell, Tolo, like over in that kind of area. And he gets into a pursuit and is chasing this thing around neighborhoods in White City, and then they get out onto 62, and I'm like ripping down Kirtland, trying to get caught up to it. And he pits this thing, like they get all the way down 62 in front of the Guitar Center where the expressway comes out, and he pits this thing out, and it's like some like Range Rover Mercedes SUV or something like that. And he pits this thing out, and it's a girl. She takes off, and he runs her down and like tackles her in the Guitar Center parking lot.
Guitar Center,
yeah. And I mean, just like there's just, and like you get out. I mean, I'm watching this thing from the back. Like I got caught up to it,
right?
And I'm watching Valdo pit this thing out, and this girl takes off on foot, and he runs her down. And I'm like, this is fucking cool, dude. Like, I was like, this is the best, dude. Like, when am I going to get into a pursuit?
Right, yeah.
You know, and at this point, I hadn't gotten into a pursuit. I mean, you do some fun stuff. Like, my last week in FTEP, I arrested a dude for murdering his own dad.
Right.
Like, he was out in a market out in Shady Cove, and we got information that he was in there, and, like, me and this other deputy, like, rolled up in there and, like, grabbed this dude and took him into custody. Like, yeah, and it's just like, I mean, so you arrested a murderer like this, you know, like I'm freaking doing it,
right?
You know, like this is happening, you know, and then I mean, the team twos, like we're getting into pursuits, we're arresting all kinds of people, like every night, we're going out and trying to make it difficult for criminals to do criminal things, and it's a gas, like you're out there just you see some sketchy looking car that's rolling around at 2:00 in the morning, like that's weird, you know, and then they're committing traffic violations. So let's have a chat, you know, you stop and pull them over, and there's people with warrants in the car, or they take off on you or whatever. It's just, there's a lot of, you know, it's, you know, and then I got into my first pursuit on the 4th of July, which was super sick.
Yeah.
I chased this white Ford F-250. You remember the story?
With a lumber rack.
With a lumber rack, like up Antioch Road, and like.
Too bad we can't say his name in public.
Oh, I mean, he's been arrested for eluding so many times. Yeah, it's all right. His name's Chris. I won't say his last name.
Awesome.
But, you know, like, so you like you get into it, and you're like, this is super fun.
This is it. Yeah.
Yeah. This is
why I got into it. Yeah. This is why I changed careers. This is why all of that stuff.
I mean, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. Yeah. You know? Yep.
So when did the luster start?
You tell me, Doyle. You know, it's
I would say probably a year and a half in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Realistically, I think about a year and a half in is when stuff started changing, and it didn't happen right away. But like, I don't believe individuals are supposed to stay up all night. Like, I'm just a firm believer of that. I don't.
It's you in science, dude.
Yeah.
Like that is not.
Individuals just should not. That foggy feeling, that groggy, you just can't think as efficiently, you know, as you want to if you have lack of sleep. But I'd say about a year and a half, you know, a little over that is probably when it started.
Yeah. I mean, you start realizing pretty early, like, how difficult it is. Like, because obviously, like, I went into it thinking, like, oh, I work these 3 days or work these 4 days, and then these next 3 or 4 days I'm having off.
Yeah,
like,
I take one little nap and I'm already good, right?
Yeah, like,
I take one little nap and I get to live my life regularly for the next 3 or 4 days.
No.
Yeah.
That is not how that works.
Yeah.
It's jet lag, and it's the worst kind of jet lag because it's a complete flip around.
Right.
And so, like, I tried for a while, you know, maybe I'll just stay on the same schedule or relatively close to it. And so I'd, like, stay up till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
But then I'd, like, what do you do? Like, my family goes to bed at 9, 10 o'clock.
Yeah. Yep.
What do you do for 5 hours by yourself in the middle of the night? You can't go work in the yard or, you know?
Yeah.
Like, what do you do?
Yep.
You watch TV.
Right.
You know? Like, you're not going to call people for real estate.
Right. Yeah.
You know? Like, you're not going to make your calls.
I'm your crackhead agent.
Yeah.
Calling you at midnight.
Hey, guess what? You know, like, what do you do?
Right. Yeah.
You know? You watch TV.
You piss away time.
Yeah. And then on top of that, you go to sleep, and then which for me, like, I was sleeping in a completely different room. And so I'm not even sleeping in the same bed with my wife.
Right. Yeah.
And so I'm sleeping in our guest room.
Yeah.
And I'll sleep till 10, 11.
Right.
My family's been up for 3, 4 hours, and they're waiting for me to wake up so that they can go do stuff or, you know, just live their lives in the house.
Be loud or make noise. Yeah.
So you do it that way, or you do it the other way, and you just, like, stay awake on your last day off. And just, like, do it how you would beat jet lag, and, like, you know, you get home at 6 and you stay up until
the next sleep time
4 or 5 p.m. And then You know, you're just a bag of ass all day, and then you go to sleep and try to get back on a regular schedule. Yeah. Which I never did that. I would try to like get home at 6 or 6:30 or whatever it was, and then just like go to sleep and then get my ass up at 10.
Right.
Like just take a 4-hour siesta.
Yeah.
And get up, but just we're talking like bags under the eyes, like
non-functioning virtually for that first day. Yeah.
Like, would you say like I'm a pretty sharp high operator?
Yeah,
like
for sure. Yeah,
like
majority of the time.
Yeah.
Some days is off.
That slipped out. You didn't mean to say that.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. Some days.
That's damn it.
Yeah, I would say, majority of the time, like you're on it, you would have to be sleepy or tired or like first thing in the morning and all of that. Yeah. And like, it just became repetitive. And it was also the caffeine, right, that was going through. And so if you can't sleep and you feel that way, then caffeine's the solve. Yeah. And just what was your record of energy drinks in one day?
Oh, I'm not nearly as bad, but
no. Right. As most people, but
maybe 3.
Right. Yeah. But for you,
yeah,
that's still a lot.
Yeah, I have one. It's not 1 cup technically. It's probably
a large cup.
A large cup of just ice cold black coffee.
Right. Yeah.
Every day. And that's like, but I'm like when I'm working night shift, like as soon as I get up, whether it's like 1 or noon or
whatever the time is,
whatever time was, I'm just ripping coffee.
Yeah.
To wake up.
Yep.
And go get a workout in, and then as I'm on my way into work, or actually not even on my way into work, sometimes I would do it at briefing,
right?
But I would try to stop drinking caffeine before 11,
right?
So
that's 11 at night,
11 p.m.
11 p.m. Right?
Yeah. And so, but I mean, oftentimes, like if I didn't get one in before midnight because I'm busy or whatever, like I've had 2 already, but but like 3 a.m.
right? Yeah.
And like oftentimes there's like not a lot going on between 3 and 6 a.m.
Yep.
Like there's obviously not a lot of cars going on.
Right.
So you're trying to type reports or whatever. Have you ever tried to type a report at 3 o'clock in the morning?
No.
Like there's like, have you ever had the wobbles in your eyes when you look at the computer? Like that's like every time you're like trying to look at the computer. It's like woo 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 woo.
Hoping you get it right.
Yeah, you can't even see straight.
Right. Yeah.
And then there's been multiple times where I would be driving home. And I'm seeing like ghost people on the you know, you're driving and you feel like you're seeing things like on the road, like you're so tired. And then I've almost like tanked my car into the Jersey barrier, like and it's just like, you know, like several times, like not just like once or twice. Like
well, because again, your body's not designed to do this.
No,
like, it's not at all.
Yeah.
So you asked me the question, when did I notice the difference? When did Shannon notice the difference?
No, I don't know. I don't even know if we've ever talked about that.
Yeah.
I just think that from the very beginning, she was not a fan.
Right.
I think Shannon, she wants me to be happy.
Right.
Like that's like probably her number 1 priority. But she also wants me to be healthy.
Right.
Like those are 2 of our like core values.
Right. Yeah.
Is like is our health and wellness and our happiness. And so it's just like those 2 things. Like I was happy.
Right.
But my off days, I was struggling.
Right.
To be happy, just because I'm tired.
Yeah.
But you know, when you're chasing cars, I'm happy. But it's
which it's ironic to me. Like day shift probably would have served you better, but there's less stuff happening. Right, less of the fun stuff. No, because you're getting calls for service, things like that. Are you getting more of the fun stuff during the day shift versus night?
I still think there's plenty to be had.
Gotcha.
In the day. I mean, sometimes you get overwhelmed with what's going on and you bounce in from call to call and there's not as much time to hunt, which, you know, hunting for car. I mean, the night, mean, you're goons. You're out looking for trouble, you know, and you're going to find it.
Right.
In the daytime, I feel like there's times when you can go out and look for trouble, but most of the time you're responding to calls for service and answering phone calls and blah, 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 and going to things. So it's more busy work during the day.
Right.
But there's still nasty stuff that happens.
Right. But I'm just saying, I think like, more of the police stuff that got you excited.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Happens.
I don't know if the day shift stuff would be super exciting for me, but I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of guys who've been working nights for a long time. They're like, no, I'll never go work day shift.
Right.
Just not good. Yeah. Yeah. So
if the job is to take criminals off the street and do all of that stuff,
there's plenty during the day.
That's sad.
But, it is.
But probably very true.
Yeah. So there was. Go ahead. You have a question.
Well, no, I was going to say, so if Shannon really didn't notice the difference, so go through the evolution of you know.
I'm sure she noticed, but I'm not sure when that would be.
When that would be.
Yeah.
So getting on the tail end of it, like you having your third kiddo, right? All of those things. Did your mind switch of going back into real estate start before that? Was it a gradual process? Was it just like, hey, I'm done. I got to get out of this and go do something else?
It's a very gradual process. I wouldn't say. I mean, there was a moment where it was like, okay, like I gotta go. Like I'm done,
right?
Or I have to be done. But it took kind of a long time to get there, and I tossed it back and forth. I mean, let's face it. Like the health and safety stuff is a thing,
right?
Like, and I'm more concerned about the health
than the safety side
of it. If that makes sense. Like the car chases, it's not the car chases and pointing guns at criminals that's going to get us killed. It's the sleepless nights,
right?
And the overloading on caffeine and all of the stress that comes with it.
Yep.
That is gonna kill us,
right?
And so I started noticing a lot of the things there. Like there's a lot of the guys that are having like pretty significant health issues, and there were some things that happened that obviously I'm not going to talk about on here because it's none of my business.
Right.
But there were some things that happened that were really eye-opening to me. Like, oh, Jesus, like this is not. I mean, one of our guys, had a very significant issue. I remember at one point there was a guy from OSP who had a very significant issue. Like, it's not just us.
Right.
This is law enforcement wide.
Right.
3 of our guys had very significant issues. I'm sure there's probably more in these other agencies that I just don't know about because we don't like talk to them so much about that.
Right.
But so there was like a lot of those things. I started noticing that, especially after the baby's born, it changes the perspective a little bit. But then there's also the stuff about like our criminal justice system just being flat out broken. Like I just don't know how else to explain it.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's not because there's bad people like that are doing a bad job. It's just it's overloaded. Like the only solution that I think the easy solution, and it's not an easy solution, that would fix our criminal justice system is that people need to commit less crime.
Right.
Like there's just not, it's not more police.
Right.
Because we don't have any space in the jails and we don't have enough DAs to process all these cases.
Right.
It's so it's not more police.
Right.
And it's not bigger jails.
Right.
So I think that those are like solutions that help. Don't get me wrong.
Short term.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But it's just like, a bigger jail would definitely like help.
Yeah.
Like if we had like a significantly sized facility that could keep all these people, but like the state requires you can't hold on to people for like if they're nonviolent criminals.
Right.
Which is dumb because these people aren't being held accountable because they just FTA on all their theft warrants.
That's
or whatever.
failure to appear.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome.
For the clarification. Yeah. So it's just like, and then there's cases where like we arrested these two felons in Shady Cove and they were firing off this shotgun in the city limits, like in a residential area. Like it's not safe.
Right.
And we had arrested these dudes and, you send the case, you arrest them, take them to jail, you send the case to the DA's office and they review it. And the DA decided to kick one of the charges for unlawful use of a weapon because they couldn't discern in which direction the firearm was being pointed.
Wow.
Like it's a residential area. There's houses everywhere. There's no good place to shoot. Right. But for them, like attorneys, they have to be able to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. Like that's their burden of proof.
Right.
Like for us, it's a probable cause. It's more likely than not. Yeah. Right. I said with us, but the law.
It is. Yeah. The Johnny Law.
Johnny Law. But so it's like they have a higher burden than we do. And so like, I get it.
Right.
But at the same time, like those are the people that we want off the streets. They still got charged with these other charges.
Right.
Felon in possession and disorderly conduct and this kind of other stuff. But it's like, those are the people that you want off the street. Like those are the people that belong behind bars. They were felons already because of weapons related charges.
Correct.
So,
and here they are again,
putting the public at risk.
Right.
but we're going to kick one of these charges because we don't think we can prove it.
Right.
Like, it's just like, it's kind of an interesting thing with like, before you decided to leave the sheriff's office, I was a DUI cop. So I was doing mostly like looking for impaired drivers, and like marijuana DUIs are considered to be some of the highest DUIs possible. Why do you think that is? I'm just going to ask you a question.
I have no idea. Yeah.
Okay. It's not because it's hard to prove impairment. It's because it's hard to prove to a jury that the buyer's or the driver's impaired.
Wow.
Because
there's no test.
Well, there's tests, but everybody smokes weed.
Oh, gotcha.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of people that smoke marijuana or do dab pens or whatever.
And you can't discern the levels that are in them?
No,
through the tests?
No, but it's like you can do the tests, and
Right.
the tests are just really more screening.
Gotcha.
Right? And like you can get blood samples back that have THC in them, right? And that proves that there was stuff in the blood.
Right.
But like trying to prove to a jury that person was too far impaired to be driving a vehicle is a challenge. That person has to be blitzed.
Yeah.
And there has to be some super poor driving.
Right.
It's just harder to prove impairment because marijuana is such a commonly used drug.
Wow.
Right? I mean, all those things, like the tests, marijuana like definitely like is impairing. Like it slows your reflexes, reaction times, all those things. Like I don't need to get into all that. I will one of these days on this podcast.
Correct,
But it's just kind of one of those harder things to prove. Like everybody knows what a drunk person looks like.
Right.
Like, and everybody knows what somebody who's like absolutely stoned.
But that middle ground.
Yeah, but that middle ground,
Yeah.
which is still super dangerous,
Correct.
is kind of like one of those things where it's like, it's kind of hard to see. So, or people who use prescription medication also, unless somebody's like so, beyond blitzed from their prescription medication, it's just hard to see. But still, it does things to the body that makes it harder for you to drive.
Yeah.
And it puts people at risk. And so it's just the criminal justice system kind of becomes a little frustrating with that. And not that's not like a big reason why I leave.
Individuals, it's not an individual. It's not their fault.
No.
Right.
It's just the system as a whole is just, it's complicated. There's a lot that, these people like, it was the way that our criminal justice system was built. I mean, you should be, innocent until proven guilty. Like, of course, like we don't want to be putting like innocent people behind bars,
Correct, right.
like the premise behind it is great. It's just, it's complicated and it's current. Like it needs a revamp.
Right.
Like it needs like a
a restructuring.
a lot of smart people to like figure out how to do it differently.
Yeah.
Because obviously law enforcement's overloaded.
Right.
The DA's office is overloaded. Jails are overloaded.
Right.
And there's really not like a clear fix. And obviously there's a lot of different opinions. Like we don't need to get
No, right. But you had said people just need to commit less crime, right? People need to, like, the reality, unfortunately, I would love to see that happen, but I don't know if there's essentially a fix for it. So if everybody's just on that repetitive cycle, like, yes, you could impose harsher restrictions, things like that, but at this moment, it's not going to change. So you're pretty much dealing with repeat individuals, or everybody knows
over
the same names.
Yeah.
There's so and so.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
what is it? Pareto's principle?
Yeah.
It's the 80-20 rule.
Right, correct.
Yeah. It's probably a higher percentage, but I mean, I'm just guessing here, but like I would say that 95% of the crime that's committed is committed by 5% of the people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
which has to be a defeating feeling for law enforcement.
Sure.
Like, that's the part that would frustrate me. Like, no, I already got you 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Now I'm seeing you again doing the same thing, and I have no recourse.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I'm going to arrest you.
Right.
And take you to jail and make it difficult for you to do these things.
Right.
And I'm going to do everything I can to try and make it difficult for you to do these things, but they're going to release you in 2 hours.
Correct. Yeah.
And then you're going to be back to doing the same stuff over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Like it's annoying.
Right.
It takes up time. It takes up resources. It's not the main reason why I quit, because I like chasing criminals. It's fun, but it's
even
just,
if it's the same one.
Yeah, but it starts to make you wonder: is the trade off worth it?
Right.
Like, are we making a difference? Like that was one of the things that like
drew me to
it. Like I love my community, even before when I was full-time real estate broker. Is like I was very involved in the community. Like I care very much about the town that I live in and the town that my family lives in. Like in the area that we live in. I want it to be safe. Like I want it to be free from criminals and all those sorts of things, but it's, I want them to be able to go places and not have to worry.
Right.
You know? And so I care very much about all that stuff and always have. Mm-hmm. And so that was like one of the big draws. And so it's like, you start to like see the repetitive nature of it, and it's really dumb.
Right.
You know? And then of course, like not every call, you know, you're going to a lot of stupid stuff too, where there's just adults who are under the influence of alcohol or drugs, or they have major mental health issues. They can't figure out their own problems, and you don't have any recourse. You're just going there trying to like help them come up with a solution.
Right.
And it's really just, they just can't act like adults, you know?
Yeah.
And that part's frustrating too.
Yeah.
But
if I had to be on a call where somebody stole a Ring camera or an REO camera, my neighbor stole my camera, like I wouldn't know what to do with myself. I probably wouldn't go to the call. Like, no, you guys figure this out yourself. Like, I'm done. Yeah, no, thank you.
You got to go. Yeah. And if people commit crimes, like you have to report those crimes. Like you have to investigate them. Like you know, like
it's crazy.
You can decide on how much you want to investigate.
Right. Yeah.
But I mean, if people commit crimes, like you have to report on it. It's required. It's a NIBRS requirement, which I don't even know what the acronym is for that. So don't worry, but you don't need to share.
I won't. Yeah.
Yeah. But you have to take that report. So it's a tricky situation, but
for sure. So what would you say is probably, I know it sounds like there was a lot of things that led you into making the decision to leave, right? The sheriff's department, but what is there one or two things you can pinpoint? I mean, you had said health, right? Was a big one.
Yeah. And like my wife being pregnant was massive. Like the child, you know, having a third child. Yeah. I think I started looking at my life like I just don't know if I can continue to do this at this level. Like there was obviously like this moment that I've talked about in a different video, but where we got involved in this pursuit that I saw this suspect try to kill one of our deputies by ramming into him at almost 100 miles an hour, you know, and I'm trying to catch up and get up ahead of this thing, and I'm doing 120 miles an hour in a patrol car that doesn't have traction control and bad brakes. Right. And I'm thinking to myself, like, what?
I'm not making this corner.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I am making this corner, but it's, I might be on my top. Dicey. Yeah. I might be on my top by the time, you know, but it's just, I mean, there's moments like that where it's just like, this is not, I can't leave my wife.
The risk reward is not worth it.
It's not worth it, especially when I know I can do this business, and I know I have hindsight, right? Right. Yeah. And so like, I know what my life was and could be. Right. And I think that a lot of these guys like maybe get stuck in this because maybe they didn't have a job that provided for them the way that real estate did for me previously. Right. Like, I felt like I was overwhelmed and overcommitted to all these things, but like, I mean, let's be serious.
Really?
Like, yeah. I was making great money. Yep. My schedule is completely flexible. I live a normal life. I can go to any one of my kids' things. Right. Right. Like I can travel anytime that I want to.
And you could sleep nights.
Right. Yeah. So there's a lot of advantages to this. And so looking back at it, I'm like thinking like, I'm not sure that I can continue to work to live like this, knowing that I have this other thing. And I feel like a lot of these guys get stuck in that because they don't have anything else to go back to.
Next step.
Or maybe they get into it when they're 25 years old and they can deal with that for 10 years. But then by the time they're 10 years, they're 10 more years or 15 more years away from retirement.
Right.
And
stick it out.
They've promoted, you know, maybe they're a corporal or a sergeant or in detectives or whatever. Or they're working for IMED or whatever. Like they're already in like these cush positions. Right. Like why not just stick it out for another 10, 15 years and I retire by the time I'm 55, 50? Right. Yeah. You know, and then I can go take up another profession. Right. Like I'm 40. I'll be 40 in August. Right. And, you know, I'm looking at it like this. Like even if I got in this great spot with this DUI car thing, so I'm working the swing shift. But then, like if I want to promote or go do something else, like
start at the bottom.
I got to start at the bottom again. Right. Yeah. You know, it's just like, and I'm looking at this thing like a lot of the guys that are my age at the sheriff's office are already in these positions. Right. Sergeants and corporals and detectives and all this kind of other stuff. Like they're already there. Right. And they're already 10 years away from retirement or whatever. Right. And so I just started looking at it like that. Like it made it hard to think that like I could continue to do this effectively, especially if I'm going to be working nights and doing all this like wild shit. Right. And so I think more or less that was like, it was more of a culmination of all these things, and like on top of the health, and then on top of my family not loving my profession,
right?
You know, like all that stuff is just it compounds,
added together.
Yeah, and so it was really just more of a decision. Like I need to like go do this.
Yeah.
And every person that I've talked to at the sheriff's office is like, one of my really good friends was like, you know, like this is a no brainer. Like,
right.
What are we talking about here?
Yeah.
You know.
Well,
like,
that's awesome that you're getting support.
Yeah. No, and everybody, they've all been awesome. I
Yeah.
know, like every single person's like, we get it, dude.
Yeah.
Like if we had a career to go back to, like you did, like we'd for sure do that.
Right.
You know, like it's this thought.
Well, I think one of the things that I want to bring up as kind of the financial guy and all of that, and you and I have really never even talked about this, but like, don't get me wrong, estate retirement is awesome and it's wonderful and it helps provide for the family and it does all those things. But like from a financial standpoint, I think even you getting back into real estate, kicking ass at real estate, doing what you need to do, I think you're actually going to have a better retirement in a shorter time span working in real estate and developing everything that you want to do, even after you putting 25 years in with the Jackson County, right?
Yeah.
I still think you're going to have a better retirement in this new path.
Let's hope so.
No, I mean, honestly, right?
Yeah. No, the financial difference is far and away. Like it's not even close.
But even if you're getting retirement pay on PERS in your retirement, yes, it's a very consistent outcome and it's a check and it's all of those things. But like, I know you well enough that you had bigger dreams than what that retirement would have provided you in your retirement age and all of those things. Right. Like the trade-off for consistency, time and time again, when I analyze it, it never makes sense.
Right.
The consistency, like just, I'll take a check for $5,000 a month, but I'm giving away all the opportunity on the other side that I know can happen. Like that's the part that like, I think that decision is really good for you because I think you were living your dream now, but I think you would have been settling in your future.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah. And those guys, I just don't think they even know what that even looks like.
And I'm not saying like, cause everybody has different paths, right? My father-in-law was a government man. You work your government job, you get your government check when you retire, and he was happy as could be. I just know you're built differently.
Yeah. And yeah, I get it and I appreciate it. For these guys that are still doing it, like, I just don't think they even realize, you know, like
what they're trading.
Yeah. They grew up knowing that same kind of philosophy. Like they just don't know, you know, these guys are like, oh man, I need to make some more money. I'm going to go work overtime in the jail.
Right.
I'm like, you're going to go work 10 hours in the jail and make $70?
Right.
You know, like,
especially because it's tax higher.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like everything that goes
it's
bad.
It's not $70,
right.
but it's just
but
like,
saying, right.
You know, I think that the time versus like, I just feel like, you know, a lot of these guys are awesome dudes and their time is far more valuable than what the pay is.
Right.
You know, like they are worth far more than what the state pays them.
Yeah.
And it's like,
yeah, we've had that conversation.
Yeah.
Teachers in law enforcement, I think, are just the most underpaid people across the board.
Without a freaking doubt.
Yeah.
Like not
sad.
even close.
Yeah.
I think if we're, you know, I know we're getting into this for a while. It's been a while, you know, almost an hour now or more. But I want to get into the real estate stuff because we've talked at length about the law enforcement and why I'm leaving and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
That was one of the things that lost my train of thought.
Oh, well, that's why I was segueing into this for the first half,
Okay.
talking about the real estate and all of that. But like, I just think the horizon and everything that you can do from a long-term perspective, like I think is way more beneficial in the real estate environment.
No doubt. I remembered what I was going to talk about. I have to go back to it, otherwise I'm going to forget it. But no, you're without a doubt, no, you're not wrong. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What these guys.
He forgot again.
I did.
I know you did.
See, most of the times he's like, I'm sharp. I'm like, what in the hell?
Most of the time.
Most of the time. That's not helping. Going back to what they're paid.
Right.
Okay. These guys, what they're getting paid, I think it brings a lot of, it was a very like eye-opening thing for me as it compares to real estate. And I'm not trying to talk bad on real estate, but law enforcement is fucking hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I'm sorry for the bad language, but it's a fucking hard job.
Right.
Like, for all the reasons that we just talked about.
Right.
And for them to get paid what they get paid versus like what a real estate broker gets paid to do the work that a real estate broker does, it was a big like perspective shift for me.
Right.
Like, I thought I was working hard before.
Mm-hmm.
Like, real estate's like a cakewalk.
Right.
Compared to what these fellas deal with on a daily basis in law enforcement.
Yeah.
Like, hands down.
Right.
Like, all the things that you have to know, like all your ORS, all your officer safety stuff, case law, how to deal with certain people, you know, like all of the things that you have to do and deal with and all the people that you deal with on top of the health and safety stuff.
Right.
Far and away.
Harder. Yeah.
Like, without a doubt. And I'm not trying to trash on real estate brokers, because there's a lot of people out there who work really hard for their money.
Mm-hmm.
And
but in general,
right. Like, there are real estate brokers out there who are worth every penny that they earn. And it's sad to say, but just like any other profession, there's a lot of real estate brokers out there who aren't worth a penny, a dime. Like, they fire them. Like I said, I started this conversation. I'm not trying to talk bad about real estate brokers, but it's just like every other profession. It's no different. Right. Yeah. And I don't think people are naive to that. Right. Like, there are definitely people out there who just suck at their job. Right. There's mortgage lenders who suck at their job. Correct. Yeah. There's police officers that suck at their job. Right. There's judges that suck at their job. There's doctors that suck at their job.
Yeah. Which is scary.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all scary.
Right. Yeah.
It's all scary, because real estate brokers are managing
hundreds of thousands of
dollars
cases,
as our mortgage lenders and all those sorts of things. Like, it's just, and that's always been my feeling before. I just think it's heightened even more now. Right. Which is also scary. Yeah. Because I felt pretty strongly about it before. Right. So that's what I was trying to get at, is that I just think that
the pay and what real estate agents make.
But my perspective on it is just, I think I worked in one of the hardest jobs I think you can work in the world, and I just got that perspective, and it kind of made real estate made me feel a lot better about real estate in a way.
So if you feel that real estate agents, you know, as a whole make a decent amount of money based on the work that they do, what then are you going to do differently to feel like you actually earn the commission and you're not part of the problem, you're part of the solution?
Yeah. Well, I think a part of that, a lot of what I want to do is kind of share the knowledge and the skills that I've been taught, all the conversations that I've had with you, and all the conversations that I've had with Nancy, and all the things that I've learned over the last 10 years, 11 years now. Right. 11? Yeah, it's 11 years since I've had my license, but all those lessons and all those things that I've learned over the years, like, I want to share a lot more of that knowledge. So from a content standpoint, like, I want to share, like, how I go about a market evaluation, for instance, or how I go about marketing a property, because I think that's a big misconception in today's real estate industry, is marketing. Right. And people are like, oh, I'm going to market it. I'm going to market that. I'm going to market this. And like, I'd say 99% of it is all bullshit. Correct. Doyle.
Well, they're wanting the internet to market it. They're not doing anything.
The internet does market it.
Right. Yeah. Correct. But I mean, not to the capacity that people think it does. Right. So once you put it on the MLS, it feeds to Zillow. Yeah. Your agent didn't have to do anything to get it to Zillow.
No, they hired a professional photographer to do all the work.
Correct. Yeah.
Or maybe.
Right.
Or maybe they took the photos themselves. Yeah. Like, I would like to open people's eyes to those sorts of things. Like, I'm going to go on this marketing tangent just for a second. Sure. Like, I think marketing a property, a house, isn't about like video and sending it out to all the people, all the buyers in California or whatever state people are moving to Oregon from, California. Right. But it's not that, you know, it's not like open houses, and it's not brokers opens. Like, I think those all feed the beast. Right. But really what you're like, the best thing that you can do, in my opinion, when you're selling a property or representing a seller is position that property for success. Yep. Like gather all of the information that is about that property. If it's a rural property, go get the well logs, go get the septic logs, go get the permits on the house, go get all of those things and have that data available. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot that you can grab even on just like a regular residential house in town. Yep. Like go get all of that information that a buyer could potentially want and have all of that information available. Right. Like professional photography is an absolute must. Like it's not
negotiable.
It's non-negotiable. And it's also one of those things that like everybody's 95% of the people are doing it these days. And a lot of these photographers could get better. Like, don't get me wrong, but like professional photography, you have to do that. Right. If somebody's paying you 2.5% or 5% on a $500,000 house or even a $350,000 house, which is like what the average price range here in Grants Pass now is probably what, like $380?
Well, the average sales price I want to say was $464.
Oh, it's gone up a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're talking about $500,000 here. Right. So $500,000 to 5% or let's call it 2.5% on $500,000 is $10,000.
Right.
Or
pay for pictures.
Yeah. Like $200, $300 for pictures.
Right.
Like, or what are we talking about here? Like there's not, like this is easy, right. So like, I just feel like positioning the property in the best way that you can is crucial. And I think that's obviously that starts with photography. Mm-hmm. I mean, it doesn't actually start with photography. It starts
getting the house ready.
It starts with getting the house ready. Right. Like what things do you need to fix? What things should you fix? What things should you not fix? Right. Like what things should you leave alone? Mm-hmm. It's the same thing that we've talked about when you do your loans, right? A lot of people, I need to pay off debt. Whoa. Like,
yeah. Who said?
Right. You know, like just because you think you need to pay off debt, like that may not actually be the best course. Right. And so that's like one thing that you do when you take your borrowers is like you walk them through that process, you look through their financial stuff and you're like, hey, this is the best way we need to go about doing this and how we can get the best terms for your loan and blah, blah, blah. Right. Right. You're providing a service to them. It's not just like, oh yeah, absolutely. Go pay off your debt and let me know when your credit score is 800. Right. Yeah. Like that's not doing anybody a service. Yeah. Right. It's the same thing when you're selling a property and buying a property. Like if you're getting all of this stuff together and positioning this property for success. And so that when it goes out on the internet, it's positioned properly with a proper price, all the proper photos, the house looks great, and it has all the information. So when a buyer does walk through that door, they have everything in their hands, so they can make a decision on the house. Right. Not they walk in the door and be like, oh, well, I wonder when the last time the roof was done, or I wonder how much the well does, and then they're moron buyers agents be like, oh, the water's not good in this area, blah blah blah. Right. When they don't know anything. Correct. Yeah. So it's just like
now you lost out on that potential buyer.
For whatever reason, like take the guesswork out of it, try to put that property in the best position possible. Right. That's what marketing property is. Mm-hmm. Like, and on top of that, like, email the real estate brokers you're listing. Right. Do all of those things. Like host an open house because you never know. I know there's buyers that come from open houses. Don't get me wrong. Like it is a piece of that puzzle, but like you think about like all the open houses that you've done over the years, like how many of them? Thousands. And how many of like the buyers walked through the door and didn't have an agent and wrote an offer on that property that day?
Open houses, for the most part, actually benefit me more than the real estate agent. Yeah. That's one of the reasons that I've done them. But I mean, I definitely know individuals, right? But it's a couple of times a year.
Yeah. But we're talking about like a very minute, Yeah. And more often than not, they probably saw it on Zillow before they came in.
Correct. Yeah.
Or homes.com or whatever website they're searching on. Yeah. So like position that property. And if you're at the open house, have all the information ready.
Right. Correct. Yeah.
Don't just show up with cookies and a smile.
Right.
Like.
Yeah. Know things about the home. There's a lot of times, I think I've said it on the podcast before, I'll go to open houses and I'll know more about that property than the real estate agent does that I'm doing the open house with. Yeah. Blows my mind every time.
Yeah. And it's just laziness.
Yeah.
Or maybe they just don't know. Mm-hmm. Like real estate's evolved from, when somebody wanted to buy a house, they went to a real estate broker because the real estate broker had access to the multiple listing service, and then nobody else did, right? So they had this book, and I'm looking for this kind of house and this and this and this and this. You're like, great, there's I got 3. This one. Yeah. There's 3 that we can go look at tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. Right. Like that's, when you know your inventory and but things aren't like that anymore.
Right. Yeah.
People do their searching on the internet. Right. Right? Mm-hmm. And so how do you position yourself?
How do you add value?
How do you add value?
Right.
Yeah. How do you do that? when you're a buyer's agent and all that stuff. It's probably going out and getting all that information in advance. You know, like you're going to go show 5 houses, get all the information. Don't just walk in with like the MLS sheet and be like, I don't know.
Square footage on this one? Yeah.
Which guilty.
Right.
I'm sure I've done it more than a handful of times in the past. Like, but that's not what I'm trying to do.
Right.
Like moving forward, I want to like help buyers and sellers like figure this out and be the trusted resource that they deserve.
Yeah.
Right. And go even further beyond than I was before. And then not only that, but I want to share all that information on the internet, not for just buyers and sellers, but for realtors alike.
Right.
Like my value statement, or my vision statement is to be the example for what a real estate professional should be to everyone.
Yep.
Like that's what my vision statement is. Like the Bifano home team will be the example for what a real estate professional should be. And so like that's how I feel like I need to do that. Not only do I need to represent the buyers and sellers in the best way that I know how, but I also need to share that information with other real estate brokers. And that's kind of like where I want to go with all this stuff. And it's kind of the perspective that I have, this perspective change that I've gotten from law enforcement.
To elevate the entire industry.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because it needs it.
Yeah, it's interesting. So going from the law enforcement, right, where your hands were somewhat tied and you couldn't do the things that you wanted to, essentially you have more bandwidth and you have more ability to do that in real estate on elevating the peers and the individuals and all of those people around you. Yeah. I think there's a lot of good agents, but there's also a lot of new agents that need good leadership, need to know how it's done, need all of those things. And I don't know if a lot of them are getting that, right? Depends on what brokerage you're with and all of those things, that if they're able to watch a video from somebody local that they know, that's able to give them the information and data that they're not getting from their current brokerage, that's going to raise everybody's awareness.
Yeah. I think you kind of just made me have a little bit of an aha moment. Because, like, I do a lot of YouTubing, like searching on YouTube. Like, I spent more time than I should have today on YouTube learning how to edit and CapCut.
Right, yeah.
which my job should be to go on appointments, not edit video.
But you'll see the benefit in this video.
Maybe. I spent far too much time trying to improve our process here.
Yeah, right.
Like, before, for those who aren't aware, before I had 2 cameras in this audio device, which isn't this thing over here, but I had 2 cameras in this Rodecaster Pro that was here before with 3 SD cards, and I would have to take those 3 SD cards, give them to my photographer for him to mix all this stuff, and it cost me a couple $100 in order to do that. Yeah. And it's just a crappy process. But now with this Rodecaster Video S, I have 3 cameras rolling on top of the audio that this thing's collecting, and it's all going to go into one file. And one MP4 file that I can upload straight to YouTube or into Spotify or whatever. So it's about improving processes. And I think that also speaks volumes about the stuff that I try to do in my real estate career profession. That's like my first core principle is like
make it better.
Make it better.
Yeah.
Constant improvement, never ending constant improvement. Like that is principle number 1. And so before of even closing one transaction since I've been with real estate, I've already spent how many hours and how much money on just trying to improve my processes
before it's even started.
Before I even started it.
Yeah.
Like that is just that if that's just doesn't speak volumes as to like who I am and what kind of shit that I do.
Yeah.
Like it's just that's yeah.
How much time did you spend on finalizing your logo?
Next.
Hours upon hours upon hours. Yeah, for sure.
I think I want to talk about one more thing.
Yeah,
because I know
we got to wrap up.
Yeah, we're an hour and 14 minutes in right now. But I want to talk about one more thing.
Yeah.
So one of the things that frustrated me before was when I was in real estate was that I always felt like I was constantly working. Working for work's sake, as Tim Ferriss would say. And you recommended that book to me a couple months back, the 4-Hour Workweek. And I'm not going to talk too much about the book, but it kind of like opened my eyes to how I want my business to also run. And I think that this is worthy for other real estate brokers to take into consideration as well, and just other business people in general. When I was working before, all of like my goals and the things that I wanted to accomplish it was always my business first.
Right.
Like whenever we did our goal setting appointments and all that kind of stuff, you remember, like I always had all of my business goals lined out, quantifiable. Everything was like squared away. And then all of my personal goals
were up in the air.
Right. Like
it's changing.
I'm doing it the other way around now.
Right.
You know, like all of the stuff that I'm going to do personally in my life I'd like for it both to be quantifiable and dialed in.
Yeah.
Like, but the perspective is that like my life, my wife and my kids come first.
Right.
And I'm not scared to say that.
Right.
Online and here in the world. Like I don't care. I've chased cars and criminals at 120 miles an hour, and I've pointed my rifle at plenty of people to know like what's truly important, and it's your family.
Right.
And your friends. Yep. And your own health and your own well-being. Mm-hmm. Like my good buddy Jared, one of the last podcasts that we did, you were sitting in the room. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you remember what he said, but he says the only place that you're not replaceable is at home. Yeah. And that stuck with me since that moment. I got emotional when he said it. Mm-hmm. It means even more to me now. Right. And so I just, no matter what business I'm involved in, like my family comes first. Right. And so, and you got to treat it that way. Right. And so going back to the 4-hour work week, like I already have crafted what I want my life to look like. Mm-hmm. And my business will kind of follow suit, and I'll build my business around that while still serving people the best way I know how, because I can't do it any other way. Yeah. But my family will come first. Yeah. Always moving forward.
And it's sad that you have to say, I don't care to say that online. Like everybody should feel that way. Yeah. Like everybody should be like, oh yeah, my family comes first and then business follows suit, right? Like it's still going to be there. It's sad that you have to verbalize that.
Yeah. Right. And maybe I don't, maybe I'm overthinking it.
No, you probably are, because there's people that, unfortunately say, well, if he's with his family, he's not going to answer my phone call.
Yeah. Is he ever going to be at work? Is he just going to be on vacation all the time?
Not even, it's far from the truth. And like one of the things I want to say is the 4-hour work week, don't misconstrue that somebody works 4 hours a week. Like that's not the reality of it. It's about the intentionality and being. So a lot of people don't realize that if you take time off and you actually make these smart decisions, you're actually more effective as a business owner than if you're just working constantly for no reason, for no purpose. Yeah. Like it takes the meaning out of all of it. And just because somebody answers their phone all the time, right, doesn't mean they're efficient or good. That's actually a problem. Yeah. Like in my opinion. And I know a lot of people don't see that. They think, if you're busy or you're whatever, or you don't. But if somebody's replenishing their stores or getting a reprieve, they're going to work harder for you while they're in it. Right. As opposed to just doing it all the time.
Yeah. 1,000%. And for those who look at the 4-hour work week and just judge it by its title, read the book.
Yeah, exactly. Right. That's why I wanted to do that disclaimer.
It has nothing to do with me only wanting to work 4 hours in a week. Right. Yeah. Like that has not, that's, right. I feel like I've worked more than 4 hours, well more than 4 hours today. Right. Correct. So, it's not,
it's not deceiving.
Right. It is very deceiving. Right. And I think that was probably a lot of my, hesitation to read the book in the first place.
Correct. I know.
But it's really more about liberation and like creating the life that you want to live. Yeah. And not letting your work, take away from that. Right. And you're just working for work's sake. And that's what I felt like I was doing was just working for work's sake and just working because that's where I thought I was supposed to do. And I left my family in the dust. Right. So not terribly, but you know what I mean? Like it could be better. Yeah. So anyway.
Well, I'm excited to see Daniel 2.0 in the real estate field. Yeah. Well, this is probably 6.7 at this point because you redevelop and refine things so many times. But like I'm excited to see it, and I think just getting out there and being able to do it better, or to be able to help people see why they're doing what they're doing. Because I think even real estate agents that do it very well, the consumers don't know why they're doing what they're doing, or they don't have the insight, and they're just trusting that person immensely that they're doing the right thing. That even individuals that see that feel like they're taken care of, but want to know why it's happening. I think that's huge. I think that's important. My meetings with clients, I'm demystifying the process, because I say, you know, like, I need to go to this next level with you, or I say get in the weeds a lot. Like, I need to do this with you so you understand what's happening next. Because if I don't go through this, you're not going to understand the next 3 steps that we go through.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have to take it backwards, peel back the curtain, and then everything else makes sense.
Yeah. And it makes the process moving forward make sense.
Correct.
Right?
And then they even trust me more.
Right.
Because I was willing to expose the secrets, the insights, all of that stuff. Like, oh, no, Dan has it. Because clearly all of the things that he's doing. And I just think that's really important to do in real estate.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more, dude.
Yeah.
I'm shooting for all of those things.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
I feel like I've been good at explaining to people in the process, like when it's happening. But I just, in the past, I feel like I just want to
next level
broadcast that even more.
Yeah.
And there's definitely some like improvements that I can make on like both the buying and the selling side. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Hopefully we'll see a lot of that, but more podcasts to come. Going to record one with a good friend of mine, Sergeant Aaron Grissom, next in the next couple of days, which we won't get launched for a little bit, but yeah, we're going to have a conversation about DUIs and the effect that it has on the community and all that. So that's the next one.
Yeah. That'll be awesome.
Yeah, it'll be good. Because I got a lot of passion about that, and if you think I have a lot of passion, like wait till you hear this guy. Yeah, like he is the bee's knees, dude.
Yeah, business.
The business.
Yeah,
Sergeant Grissom, dude.
Very cool.
Anyway,
all right, sir. Well,
Doyle.
thank you.
Yeah, appreciate
it.
Yeah.
All right.
Adios, y'all.
Bye.